Find out. Maybe you can be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Good morning. This is Monday, March the 4th, and it could very well go down in history as the snowiest ever in Minnesota. We'll bring you up to date on the news and the sports, and most importantly, the weather. Dennis Feltgen is standing by in Weather Services to bring us the latest. We also have on the telephone various reports from around the state, including our own Kevin Berger in Duluth. We also have Dennis Bounds in the newsroom gathering information about snow emergencies and school closings and what's open and what's not. And there's Dennis Bounds. And John Lundell is also with us for all the latest on traffic information. And, of course, Ed Cairo is with us, too, for a recap on sports. Ed?
Yes, good morning, Frank. A Minnesotan has established a benchmark for the Boston Celtics. He did it last night. Kevin McHale became the Celtics' all-time leading scorer with a remarkable amount of help from the man who held the record, Larry Bird. McHale scored 56 points against Detroit. We'll have details on that, and Dennis Feltgen has the latest on weather. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Eddie. It's been a long night. It looks like it's going to be a long day. This is a live picture of KSTP's color radar, and what you're seeing is a mixture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain across the metropolitan area. It's hard to tell what's actually falling because it's blowing around with winds of anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour in gusts. To the north, it's generally snow. It's moving up from the south to the north, which means we're in the warm sector. So we're actually going to go into a little lull here before we probably get into additional snowfall later this afternoon. Here's the culprit. The weather app right now shows an intense area of low pressure in the northwestern part of Iowa. This is the same one we've been watching since last Friday when it moved out of the Rockies. There's rain and thunderstorms to our south, and as I said, snow to our north. There's a variety of watches and warnings and advisories all through the upper Midwest. Of course, we remain in a full-blown winter storm warning throughout the day for a combination of falling snow, freezing rain, sleet, and high winds. Blizzard warning up in North Dakota, gale warnings throughout the Great Lakes, travelers advisories surround that. It's just going to be a messy day, good day to stay inside. KSTP's forecast for today calls for a winter storm warning in effect with heavy snow and high winds. Still, that is the old forecast that you're seeing right there. We hope to have the new one, but the winter storm warning will remain in effect throughout the day, and we will get that situation corrected here in the next couple of moments. In the meantime, all of this weather is, of course, having just a real havoc problem on the traffic. We go now to John Lundell and Metro Traffic Control. Good morning, John.
Well, right now, Dennis, around the metro area, the roadways still, all the advice is don't travel. We just got word in from the State Patrol that I-94 has now been opened between downtown or between the Minneapolis area and Alexandria. So although they are still recommending no travel, the barricades have been taken down. In the metro area, Highway 95, it's closed off. Stalled out snowplows out near the area of Bayport, and they're trying to get some help to them. Inside the metro area, many of the rampways still blocked shut. Don't travel if you don't have to. It's that simple. Although the buses are running, it's the major routes only. That brings us up to date on the traffic. We've got more to come. Right now, here's Frank with the stories that are making the news this morning. Good morning, Frank.
Thanks a lot, John. Well, here's a quick summary of some of the major national and local stories making news. There are reports that some of the French nationalists held hostage in Ethiopia have been released. All had been flying relief supplies into the area when they were accosted. The death toll has risen to at least 90 now after last night's major earthquake in Chile. At least 2,000 others were injured. The British coal strike is over. The walkout lasted about a year, but ended yesterday when miners narrowly voted to return to work. The Israeli government has started the second phase of its troop withdrawal from southern Lebanon. It's expected to take about 6 to 12 weeks to complete. Locally, marital problems are being blamed for an apparent double murder and suicide in St. Paul. Apparently, Robert Fornell shot and killed his 2 sons before turning the gun on himself last night. And on Wednesday, services will be held for former Minnesota Associate Justice Thomas Gallagher. He died yesterday morning of natural causes. He was 87 years old. Well, now we turn to Ed Cairo for the latest on sports. What's up, Ed?
Well, Frank, you know, it's only the second week of the U.S. football season, but the Houston Gamblers are already calling in the markers for the best in the league. They won their second straight, stomping Tampa Bay 50-28 yesterday. Third quarter, Gamblers quarterback Jim Kelly, class of the league, looks deals to Gerald McNeil. McNeil did the rest, 58 yards for a touchdown. Kelly had a second straight big day, 4 touchdown passes to lead Houston over Tampa, 50-28. Elsewhere, San Antonio downed Arizona 16-14. Denver won big over Birmingham 40-23, and Baltimore and Oakland battled to a 17 tie in overtime. Tough day for the Minnesota Strikers at the Met against Las Vegas. First time Minnesota's been shut out. Number 14's Mike Fox. The header, one of 2 goals for the Americans who shut the Strikers out 5-0. And we'll check the National Hockey League and the collegiate hockey playoffs in just a few minutes, Frank.
I was surprised that the Strikers even got that game off yesterday.
Well, they were lucky. They got it in.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Ed. Well, we're going to go to a break right now, but when we come back, Dennis Feltgen will join us with all of the weather details, and we will talk live with Craig McHenry of radio station KROC, who's in Olmsted County. We will also have a rundown on what businesses and schools are closed today. That and more when Eyewitness News Morning continues. Stay
And now at Don's Apache Auto Wash, 3725 Stinson Boulevard, and at Don's Heights Auto Wash, 4423 Central Avenue Northeast, you'll get the super soft cleaning action of cloth, plus 100% fresh water, no recycled or reclaimed. So remember, at Don's Apache and Don's Heights,
you get the super soft cleaning cloth every time you wash your car at Don's.
Seco room makers make a bedroom out of a family room. Seco room makers make a bedroom out of a den. Seco room makers make a bedroom out of a playroom. Or make a family room out of a bedroom, or a den out of a bedroom, or a playroom out of a bedroom. Make whatever room you want without giving up the room you already have at your nearby Seco Room Makers showroom. Yorktown Mall, and edine in your Southdale.
Good morning. It's 25 degrees. Thanks for joining us. The time right now is about 7 minutes past 6. And, you know, the storm we got a taste of Sunday, it isn't through with us yet. Dennis Feltgen will have more on that in about 5 minutes. Right now, though, on the phone with us is Craig McHenry of radio station KROC in Olmsted County. Craig, what is the situation down there?
Well, right now, Frank, we're experiencing a lot of wind and some freezing drizzle. That wind is gusting up to about 64 miles per hour at the Rochester weather station right now. Our satellite dishes outside the building are just twisting in the wind at the present time. Although most of the people heeded the warnings and stayed off the roads overnight, Frank, there continue to be a few stranded cars being checked out by the State Patrol this morning. Just after 5 o'clock this morning, we got word that 11 people stranded in one vehicle near Marion, which is southeast of Rochester, were removed from that vehicle and taken to a shelter. A couple of other people were just taken from their stranded vehicle on I-35 near milepost 70. Now, maintenance workers have been out all night in the Rochester Maintenance District trying to keep up with some of that snow. City plowing crews were to have hit the streets at about 2 this morning, but from where we're located right in the heart of downtown, we're yet to see any progress by them.
Okay.
The usual rush of early morning closings and cancellations is unusually light this morning, probably because they saw far enough ahead to make their closing announcements yesterday. The storm's first vestiges hit us about 10 o'clock yesterday morning. By 10 o'clock last night, about 75% of all the local school districts had declared today to be a snow day. We continue to get a few of those calls trickling in at this time. A lot of the businesses are closing down. Cab service is still running, but 45 minutes late. City bus lines are still running, but they're having a tough time going this morning, too.
Okay. Listen, thank you very much, Craig.
You bet, Frank.
Once again, that was Craig McHenry of radio station KROC in Olmsted County. Well, of course, the big story of the day is the storm, and right now Dennis Bounds joins us from the newsroom with details of what is and what isn't open today. Dennis.
Good morning, Frank, and good morning to you. Hundreds of schools and businesses across southern Minnesota today are obviously closed, the better portion of the southern part of the state. Most federal offices are closed in the Twin Cities. St. Paul City Hall is open, and if you cannot make it into work, it's going to cost you a vacation day. We do have a listing of the school districts that are closed. We'd like to run them for you right now. The school districts that are closed: Annandale, Bloomington, Braham, Brooklyn Center, Burnsville, Centennial District 112, Chaska, Cretin High School, Edina, Matamidi, Mankato State University, Minneapolis Business College, the Minneapolis Public School System, Minnehaha Academy, Minnetonka, Mound, Westonka, Central Bible College, North St. Paul, Maplewood, Osseo, Plum City, Wisconsin.
New snow from this particular storm, and it's not over yet. Of course, driving is treacherous. Many schools and businesses are closed. We urge you not to drive unless absolutely necessary. The weather map right now shows the storm just about on top of us, which means there's actually been a lull in the snow and a little lull in the wind, but it's only temporary. The storm is going to continue moving on to the northeast, and we're going to get the backwash of the storm, which means the possibility of an additional 4 to 6 inches of snow this afternoon. Let me show you where it's coming from. The radar right now shows the first band of snow beginning to lift on out to the northeast, where we're starting to see the edges of snow coming in from the northwest. And there's more where that came from. The Weather Service radar from Fargo, North Dakota shows snow beginning to move in from the northwest, and that's why we think an additional 4 to 6 inches is likely. We'll have more on the weather. It's leveled off in the last hour, and the airport's officially reporting light snow. In the almanac, we have had not much information yet. We just got it over the wire and haven't unloaded it yet there in the machine. The airport snow total right now is about 13.5 inches. And as we said, it's still coming down. Now, KSTP's color radar last night at 10 o'clock showed a second area of snow with some thunderstorms in southwestern Minnesota. And we'll roll the laps along quickly, and you can see it pretty much missed the Twin Cities. We haven't had a whole lot of snow overnight, and a live picture right now shows significant snow to the north, but a little break to our south. But I believe some of this will wrap around, and we could get an additional 4 to 6 inches later this afternoon. Warnings remain very common all through the upper Midwest, with winter storm warnings from the Dakotas all through Minnesota and Wisconsin. Just don't go out. Blizzard warnings are out in North Dakota. Gale warnings over the Great Lakes. Travelers advisories are out to our south. There is a ray of hope on the horizon. I know it seems hard to believe at this hour of the morning, but tomorrow we expect the storm to lift on.